Hello and welcome to Country Music Social Media Sessions. My name's Helena and I'm very excited to finally meet John Greene. How are you, John?
I'm all right, thank you.
Looking very cozy there in your man cave.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in here. This is my studio, basically.
Okay, so this at home, is it?
Yeah, it's an attic.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that sounds great. So you've got
Taking
your own
over.
little corner. Brilliant, it looks great. So you've got an attic, you've got your studio at home. Where is home? Where are you based?
Falmouth, Cornwall.
Oh, okay, not too far then. And basically, not too far at all. So you've got quite a lot of music out, as we just discussed actually before I pressed record. And you've been promoting, and obviously during the pandemic, you got a studio at home. So I'm guessing it didn't stop your creativity.
In fact, quite the reverse. I did nothing else for 2 years except work. And,
which will explain, yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Without decrying the suffering everybody else had, I had quite a good time because I didn't have to go out. I had my food delivered and didn't go out, didn't catch the dreaded disease, and just stayed up here and worked. Huge improvement.
Brilliant. And so I play quite a couple of your songs on my radio show, Radio Downtown, and obviously you've been with us. You're quite recent to Country Music Social Media. I think Ken grabbed hold of you not so long ago. Is that right?
Yeah, 6 months maybe.
6 months, okay, because we've been getting a lot of airplay on your songs and we're getting great feedback on it as well. So how was your process? Did you actually record an album in the lockdown, or are you just doing single after single and just seeing how it went?
It's just recently changed, that whole thing. I mean, up until before the pandemic, for certain, I always thought in terms of albums.
Yeah.
I'd record an album and then I'd do something else. And that was the way it worked. But now and it's something to do with my increased age as well, I think, is that I come up with a song, I go, right, this is the song I want. And then I do that one. And then I do the next one, and then I do the next one. And it's coming out in different ways. I'm working on a whole batch of new material at the moment, about 20 songs, some of my own and some covers. Though I hate that word, versions.
Versions, yes, your versions.
Country music, everybody records songs that they didn't write.
Yes.
I mean, everybody does that. As you know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But where was I? I wandered off the subject. If you hear a strange noise in the background, the people next door have just arrived to take down some scaffolding.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's just typical, isn't it?
There's not a lot I can do about it. Yeah, I've been waiting for this to disappear for about 6 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, well, I can hear a soft scraping every so often, but it's not affecting the volume, so that's good. Yeah, so you basically just writing a new project. You've got about 20 odd songs going ahead, which seems like you just non-stop.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm running out of time. Let's be honest.
No, don't say that.
I'm an old man. I'm running out of time. I mean, yeah, there's a limit. And it may be a long time yet, but I've got to think about it in terms of let's get this stuff out.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. I'm happy with that.
That's fair enough. And also it's nice to have that you can do something like this, isn't it? To have the creativity and to have the talent to write and to perform. I mean, we probably take it for granted at times, but it is an amazing thing to be able to do. And like you say, you kept yourself busy in lockdown and just produced lots and lots of fantastic music.
It is, and it's coming out in all different in several different genres as well now, which is a bit confusing. But
what do you call yourself then? Do you say you're like country Americana, or are you completely sort of multi-genre? Is it just depending on what comes out at the time?
Lately, I used to be Americana. I used to think of it as Americana, and I still do to a certain extent. But I've kind of added alt country to it as well.
Okay.
But there's and I have another string to my bow, which is Hawaii music.
Ooh,
Hawaiiana. Okay. I did a whole album of that not too long ago, and I play the lap steel as badly as I play the pedal steel, ukuleles and stuff. And I love Hawaiian music, and I spent quite a lot of time there over the years. It's such an amazing place.
Oh, I can imagine. Yes.
That's kind of come out as a genre as well. And I'm just recently beginning to move into bluegrass feel more, mainly because I bought a mandolin. And without a mandolin, you might as well not bother. You know, you can't make bluegrass without a mandolin. You have to.
Oh, right, yeah. And what a lovely sound as well.
Yeah, it's an amazing noise. And once you got one, it's sort of everything starts lurching off into the bluegrass fields. But,
so you like to experiment really with sounds, I guess. Because you've been doing this for quite a long time.
I have, yeah. Well, good. I was a semi-professional bass player for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And
brilliant.
Gradually became dissatisfied with doing that, and moved into songwriting, and then sort of put out an album in conjunction at the same time as still being a bass player.
Yeah.
And then when the computer operation, the computer revolution started, and suddenly I could record at home. So I then learned all these different instruments because suddenly I needed them. Right, I need the sound of something or other. So I learned how to buy one, learn how to play it. You know, usually quite badly, but enough to
get sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm going to play one of your songs now, actually, before we go on, because I'm going to play a song and then we'll come back to it. But this one is called Crying Time. So tell us a little bit about this one.
This is a duet with me and my daughter Rosalie.
Oh.
This is a real a funny story, I think, in the way that we get inspiration from strange places. This is a very old song. It's an old Buck Owens song from the 60s. But I was listening to watching a movie, Ocean's 11 or 12, I can't remember one of them.
Yeah.
And quite near the beginning, there's a scene where matey, whose name I forget, one of the main guys, not the coffee guy, the other one.
Yeah.
Is having a row with Catherine Zeta-Jones or something. Yeah. And there's this beautiful music in the background, which is an old Italian song.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, I love that riff. I learnt the riff, and then I suddenly, for no reason, started singing Crying Time over the top of it as I sat there with my guitar on the couch. Thought, and
wow.
There it was.
Wow. Yeah, that is. It's a very strange. It is funny. You're very much right. Where you could just be sat there at the most annoying time and think, "Oh, that's come to my head," or you just wouldn't expect. Someone asks me, "Oh, how did you write this song?" And I come out with something, and I think, "Wow, yeah, I did write it at a weird time." It's very strange. So we're going to play "Crying Time" first. So I'm just going to play that and stop this for a moment.
It's crying time again. You're gonna leave me. I can see that faraway look in your eye. I can tell by the way that you hold me, darling, that it won't be long before it's crying time. Oh, they say that absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that tears are only rain to make love grow. Well, my love for you could never get no stronger, darling. If I live to be 100 years old. love better. That's the way it's happened every time before. And as sure as the sun comes up tomorrow, crying time will start when you walk out the door. 'Cause it's crying time again. You're gonna leave me. I can see that far away look in your eye. I can tell by the way that you hold me, darling, that it won't be long before it's crying time. No, it won't be long before it's crying time.
And that was by John Greene, and what a fantastic song. I have actually played that one. That's with your daughter, Rosalie, isn't it? Her name's Rosalie.
Yeah, Rosalie.
And so basically, yeah, so you're starting on new music. Do you gig? Do you go out and perform, or are you pretty much just studio-based and get your songs out?
For the last 2 years, not at all.
Well, no.
I mean, not at all. For the first time since I was 15, I went through a whole year without doing a gig, and 2 years, in fact.
That must have been weird.
Oh, it's just all my life. My great belief was that the show must go on.
Yeah.
And suddenly that was wrong, and the show couldn't go on. The show had to stop, and I found that very difficult to deal with to begin with. But being an old show off like I am.
Yeah. Well, we all. But then if you've been brought up with it, you've been doing this since you were, say, for 14, 15, and then to suddenly have it taken. I mean, I've been gigging for quite some time, but not that long. But even so, it was hard because almost you suddenly find yourself on a Friday and Saturday night at home. And what do you do? And we're used to going out, we're used to entertaining, and when it's taken away, I think obviously over the years you do take it for granted that you've got this, and then when no one ever expected that to happen, did they? I mean, it was like it was very, very strange. So what are your plans for the next 6 months then? What you got up your sleeve?
Well, just finishing these recordings, I think is the next thing. I'm sort of whittling them down. You go through them and then get to a certain level, and I think, right, all I got to do now is the vocals or something like that. And then getting the vocals done, and then Rosalie, my daughter, comes in and sort of co-produces with me.
Okay.
She's a fully fledged artist in her own right.
Yeah.
An amazing talent. Yet another undiscovered amazing talent. So she kind of co-produces, which is great because otherwise it would just be me.
Yeah, and it'd get lonely as well, wouldn't it? It's nice to have someone involved, especially a daughter.
Yeah, and she comes in and says, "Okay, well, that's great, but the drums are terrible. I hate that." And the bass, she's always on about the bass. She then never likes the bass.
Oh, that's the thing about working with your family, isn't it? They always tell you the honest truth.
yeah, exactly. Which is fantastic. I mean, it's the best thing you can have, and she's always right.
I'm sure if she's watching this, I'm sure she'll be pleased to hear that.
Pretty annoying.
But, I look forward to getting to new music. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it too. It's and then I'll get through that and then see where we are. Maybe things will get better and maybe we can start doing some real work.
I think so. I think it will. It can only go up from here.
I'd like to do a full-on, proper big gig in a proper hall somewhere and video it. That's what I did back in 2014. I did a big show and just taped got the art school locally.
Oh wow! Okay.
Cameras and do the whole thing properly. I got massive use out of that, because you can make it look like anything. You know, you can make it look like there were people there.
You can, and also in halls like that, they're very really good acoustically as well, aren't they? The acoustics are great in places like that, so it's always good. And please do get us music when you get anytime you get new music, send it to Ken, and we'll make sure it's transported across the world, and we'll do what we can to help promote you. But before I go, we're going to finish with one more song, which I'm going to play, "Sail Away." I love this one, and I have played it a few times on my show, on my radio show. Could you tell us a little bit more about it before I press play?
Sure. Yeah, it's an old Neil Young song. 75 or somewhere around there. It's on the Zuma album, I believe. So I always get that wrong. It's on one of those albums around there. And it's just a beautiful song. It's just a typical Neil Young song, which you think, what a simple song. And then you get into it and you find it's not quite as simple as you thought.
Yeah.
So it's that double time kind of thing. And you think it's slow, but it isn't. And it's just a beautiful song, and I love the video that goes with it. It's some stuff I shot when I was in California,
wow,
back in 2005. It's just beautiful. It just fits nicely, and
yeah,
it's a good piece of work.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to finish with that. This is "Sail Away." This is John Greene's version of Neil Young's fantastic song. It was lovely to speak to you, John, and keep in touch. Let's get our music out there, and we'll do what we can for you. Okay?
Great.
Thank you very much.
I could live inside a teepee. I could die in penthouse 35, and you could lose me on the freeway, but I would still make it back alive. See the losers in the best bars, meet the winners in the dives, where the people are the real stars, all the rest of their lives. As long as we can sail away, as long as we can sail away, there'll be wind in the canyon, moon on the rise, as long as we can sail away. There's a road stretched out between us, like a ribbon on a high plain, down from Phoenix through Salinas, around the bend and back again. As long as we can sail away, as long as we can sail away, there'll be wind in the canyon, moon on the rise,